Hello and welcome to Stories, the True and the Fictional, the indie author podcast supporting indie authors from all around the world. This episode is brought to you by Rebecca Castles of the Rising Dawn series. You too can become a sponsor by heading on over to buymeacoffee.com/STTATF or follow the link in the show notes. And now, let's get into the show. Warning. Listening to this episode may cause your TBRs to grow in size. Dan Roberts, welcome to the show. How you going?
Thank you, Jamie. Or do you prefer to be called J.A.?
It is either way. It does not matter.
Okay. I'm just making sure to get in my shut the fuck up, I'm performatively reading hat from Operation Dodecahedron Press and our buddy Mark Henry as part of the Dad Literati.
That's our second ad for the show. Now, because you know, we know each other pretty well. I've been on your show, and
yeah,
not only that, I sing the song
intro
for your show.
To my show. Yeah.
Now, first time on the Story, the True, and the Fictional podcast, Dan Roberts is going to sing the intro. Take note.
I don't even. What is the Australian national anthem? I don't know the words to it.
Well, our country only believes in half of it, and we only ever sing one verse. I think we sing the second verse in school, but even then, no one knows it because it's got weird old timey. It's written, I don't know when, but it's got weird stuff.
Your country's not that old.
Yeah, but
it's only a little bit younger than my country.
Yeah, what was it? 1777, I think. I should know this. I should know this. But I'm not a historian.
because Georgia, I am a historian. I know the story.
Yeah.
Georgia, following the American Revolution, ceased to be the place where people were dropped off and sort of sent out of England for felonies. And so what actually happened was, after the American Revolution, the British government was like, oh no, what are we going to do with all these people who stole, 15 pence? And usually we just kill them. But instead we're going to send them to Australia. And then everyone was like, no, just rather die.
Yeah.
And then, of course, they arrived and they were like, oh, this is terrible. There are these natives in the hills, and they have spears. They all have spears all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And they were terrified. And that was the origin of the initial settlement group of Australia, as represented in Fatal Shore, which is a wonderful history of Australia. One of my favorite books, by the way.
Nice. I saw a meme. It's been going around recently, and it's got the top of Australia, up way up north of Queensland, but basically in the middle section up the top.
Yeah.
Big circle. It's going why doesn't anyone live here or go there? And the comments are just hilarious. And they're like, well, it's cassowary country, it's crocodile country. There's snakes. It's just that's the death zone.
Yeah, everyone would prefer to live out in the giant desert in the middle of the country in holes in the ground.
Yeah. No, well, the middle, the deserts is where we get the taipan, which is a snake that can kill you in 30 seconds. So no one wants to live there.
No one wants to live there. Yes, but I did see that the opal miners live out in the middle of the country, which I always thought was super interesting. Is that there's one part of the world where, because all the miners also often pay in precious metals, if I'm correct, out there, because they don't bother to do the exchange. So you go into a bar and a guy will drop, melted silver on the counter. And I always thought that was super interesting. I think they made a movie about it called The Royal Hotel.
Yeah,
and then there's a documentary called The Royal Hotel that was before The Royal Hotel. Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, we're a little the way in, so let's find out who you are, Dan. For the people that don't know, who is
Who
Dan
am
Roberts?
I? Dan Roberts is the producer, owner, operator, and host of the Dad Lit Pod, a literary podcast for dads. And we explore books that are by dads, about dads, or for dads. And we've had Jamie on. I'm also the author of The American, The Lifetimes in War of Basil Antonelli, which is a history book that you could
Hmm.
get on Amazon right now. And I wrote the preface
Ooh,
to the special edition of Letters from the Emu War.
there it is.
There it is. There it is. And I now know how to pronounce emu.
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 That's
I
it.
don't. I never
No,
learned it.
no. You had it for like 8, unless you keep saying it,
And yeah, you forget. And of course, I also write books, trying to get published. I was hoping to have an announcement, but the agent is playing phone tag with the editor and the team at the press, so I can't say for certain where we are on the project now. But the hope is within a week I'll be able to announce that I will. Would I still be an indie author if a small press publishes my book?
I don't know. Like, is it like so? Is that like hybrid kind of thing, or are they just like it depends on what it is? Because I was with a hybrid once, and where you basically paid
I
money for
well,
someone to do it for you, you
no,
know?
they would be paying me and they're going to do it. But I'm going to be an indie
Okay.
author anyway because my plan is to use all the money
Hmm.
from this book to
Yeah.
fund the other books that I can't or haven't been able to convince my agent to
That you know
sell on my
that you know
behalf.
they'll reject like
Yeah, that I
outright.
know they'll reject,
It's just like
whether it be for whatever reason.
yeah,
And so that's my hope. My hope
yeah.
is to use the profit from selling a book to do
Make
more
more.
books. And if I have to do that independently, I'm definitely gonna do that independently because um, publishing is so, I don't know, how would you describe it? Wide open. It's a wild west.
Yeah, yeah. It's free range.
And there's the only limit to what you can do with it is how much time you have to spend on your work. And
Hmm.
uh, I have zero time to spend on my work. But I'm still doing it. Still doing
Yeah,
it.
I'm the
So
same,
check out
man.
the Dadlit pod.
Yes, do it. I've been on twice. It's fantastic. And the only reason, Dan, I haven't sent you a copy of the hardback edition of Letters from the Emu was because like the shipping is insane.
No, no,
it's
I
just
I actually I actually think it's funnier that I've never seen it.
well, you have
I
now.
think it's funny. I think it's funny.
There you
How
go.
did you like the preface, by the way?
I loved it because it matched our humor.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty spot on. I'm a professional historian otherwise. That's my other job.
There you
And
go.
yeah, you can see Dan Roberts, a very important American historian and
Yeah.
lover of animals who are not emus. Emus.
I love it.
And and yeah, I had a lot of fun writing that.
Yeah.
I got to go into the history of Australia. I got to go for people who should go out and buy it and then read it. I really hearkened on the idea that I was an American commenting on Australian history and being very chauvinistic about it,
Yeah.
which I thought Jamie would think was funny.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Anyway, let's get into these icebreakers before our guests
I
wind up
know.
before it's two shows. But we're gonna crack right in. Who's your favorite dynamic duo? Like Bill and Ted, like
You
Timon and
you
Pumbaa.
you sent this to me and immediately Riggs and Murtaugh from the Lethal Weapon
Oh
series.
yes.
Yes. Talk about a best friends to lovers duo, Riggs and Murtaugh.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason I was hesitant was because, of course, Joe Pesci shows
Mm.
up in the second Lethal Weapon
Yeah.
and then becomes part of the gang.
Yeah.
And Joe Pesci is so funny and so talented. And I'm such a huge Joe Pesci fan from, his Scorsese days and all the movies he does with Scorsese, that to me, his inclusion, even if he's only there for like a limited time and he doesn't do a lot, is the best.
Mm.
It's so great. But yeah, Riggs and Murtaugh, I love that sort of friendship.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think if it was 48 Hours was the first buddy action movie, or if it was Lethal Weapon.
Mm.
I mean, technically, I think people would say it was In the Heat of the Night with Sidney Poitier and what's his name, which is also a great, but it's not like a comedic
Yeah.
buddy action movie. But there's in the Heat of the Night too. It's just a terrific movie.
Well, according to the internet, if you want to trust the internet, the first buddy cop movie was a Japanese one called Stray Dog in 1949.
Unbelievable. The Japanese beat us to everything.
Yeah, well, they essentially created Magnificent Seven, because that's where
They did create the
they,
Magnificent
they
Seven.
they stole that.
Also, if you watch The Departed,
Hmm.
the Scorsese movie, The Departed, with Leo DiCaprio and
Yeah.
Matt Damon, if you're willing to sit through Leo DiCaprio and Matt Damon's face for 2.5 hours and watch a pretty good and funny movie.
It's worth it just for that. Are you a cop? Are you a cop?
You- or the cranberry juice, the cranberry juice cut.
Yeah.
um no, the funny part about that is that movie was originally a Japanese movie.
Mm.
And like you have that scene where they're like there's the blue and the red light, and I was watching this Japanese movie and I forget what it was. It was a cop movie, and I'm like, oh, this is like a classic Japanese cop movie that Scorsese just plucked out, plucked. So anyway, yes, Riggs and Murtaugh,
Yeah.
a great
Uh,
dynamic duo.
what's sad but also funny is that when Riggs and when Murtaugh started saying, "I'm too old for this shit," I'm I'm his age that he was when he started saying that. And I'm going there. You know what? You know what? I feel it. I feel it. I'm the same age. I'm going like, you know what?
Oh, that's rough.
I
That's
walk I
rough.
walk around my work all the time saying that. So
Okay,
uh,
what's the next one?
the
Or
next
did
one.
you do you give me one?
Hmm?
Do you give one or do
No,
I
no,
just give it?
it
Oh, I just
doesn't work
answer.
that way. It doesn't work that way.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
unless you want me back on your show and you can ask them.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. When Ancora 2, I'm gonna bring you on for Ancora 2 and we're gonna discuss it.
Okay. Well, I've had something come out
I know
recently.
what's it called? You should push it right now to the dad literati.
Taking things off my shelf.
Yes.
Uh, The Boy Who Slayed the Gargoyle,
Oh, well,
which
I knew about that
which
one.
is a
Well,
kid's
you
book.
had that one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a few months old.
So
But anyway, what's on your bucket list, Dan? What's on your bucket list?
I want to see an alligator in the wild. I've never seen an alligator in the wild, and
So you're
I
off to
am
Florida?
obsessed. Well, I was in Florida. My in-laws bought a new place in Florida, and it was a zillion degrees in May, and I was down there, and there was this park that it's like, it's kind of built up. It's a giant mosquito pit. You're
Hmm.
going to get malaria and die, or West Nile. And you can walk on these through the mangroves,
Yeah.
and they have a big pond there and this bridge. You go to the pond and there are supposed to be alligators. So I went to all of the trouble. of leaving my wife and daughter behind, of going to the store, of getting the bug spray, of spraying myself with the bug spray, of going out in the 80-degree heat and walking in what I would honestly describe as a feral jungle where a person would walk into if they wanted to die and have their body never discovered
Yeah.
again, and did not see a single fucking alligator.
They're all
And
on vacation.
I was out there for an hour and a half, and I was just like, and there, I was looking, and there's a zillion like weird little mud pools, and there's a river and a bridge, and I did not see a single alligator. And I wanted to see baby alligators, and they had all these signs that said, "Don't molest the alligators." And I'm like, well, I don't want to molest it. I just want to see it. Uh, and I didn't see a goddamn alligator the entire time. And I was so pissed. And it was only open on certain days. It was a real mess. And I came home and my wife said, "Well, you burned 2.5 hours of, being out in the swamp. Did you get to see your alligator?" I said, "No." And so it's still on the list.
Yeah.
It's still on the list. It used to be to hold one, but then I went to an alligator like farm
Yeah.
thing, and they let me hold one, and I was just like, I didn't want to give it back. I was like, I'm gonna keep this.
It's like, are you sure you weren't being like too noisy and scaring them off? Because
No,
that's
they actually so this is what they say about crocodiles, is that the crocodiles get like scared off by the noise. Now,
mm,
American alligators hear like a dog yelping and they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna eat that dog."
yeah.
Does that happen in Australia where the crocodiles eat everyone's dogs?
Probably. I don't live near them, so I don't. But it sounds about right. I know people have been charged by a crocodile,
Yeah.
like they'll run at you. Yeah.
Yeah, because in Florida, it's old people, right?
Yeah.
And the alligators are just like they're everywhere except where I'm looking at any given time whenever I'm in Florida.
You could have gone to the
And
golf course.
yeah,
Which
I could have gone to the golf course and seen an alligator. And people in Florida have these tiny little dogs, and
Mm,
they take them for a walk near this
mm.
big pool of water, and they're like, "Oh, my chihuahua. Oh, let me get the bag." And then they look back, and it's just a
Gone.
bloody collar, and the chihuahua's gone. And it happens every day down there,
Yeah.
and no one bothers to buy a bigger dog.
Yeah.
No one bothers to buy a bigger. They just go buy another small dog that gets eaten by
No,
another
well,
alligator.
it's evolution, man. It's just like they can't grow any bigger because yeah, alligators keep
Yeah,
getting them.
yeah, yeah. They grow bigger. Yes.
Wasn't there that story of the guy that like I think it was Florida where he I think he had a cigar in his mouth or a beer or whatever, and he was wrestling a crocodile or an alligator to free his dog or whatever. There was like some video.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That happens all the time. It happens all the time. It's so great. Florida is like America's Australia.
Yeah.
Like when I was a kid growing up in like freezing cold Maine,
Hmm.
and I would be watching like Australia documentaries on the crocodile hunter,
Mm.
and I'd be like, "Oh, well, we have that. It's just a hillbilly with a pack of marbs and a tank top,
Mm.
and he's wrestling an alligator to make boots out of it."
Yeah.
Like in Australia, you guys don't even make boots out of your crocodiles.
No, we love the environment too much, which is funny because it's like maybe after the whole emu fiasco, where like after the military and the government failed the war, they went, okay, let's put out a bounty on these guys, and the civilians killed like 50,000 in 6 months. You know, it's like
Oh yeah. I mean, when you export that sort of,
yeah,
production, no, because we used to have like alligator skin
yeah,
products.
yeah.
And then they killed all the alligators, and the state of Florida is like, oh shit, we should probably keep some of these alligators. And it turns out that alligators are one of these animals where if you protect their young to the point where it's like a foot long, they'll they're just unstoppable
Yeah.
at that point. If they once they get to like a foot long, like the only time that the alligators actually die or get eaten by birds or something like that is if they're less than a foot long. And that's why they have a zillion eggs. And if you prevent those little baby alligators from getting eaten by birds, there are a zillion of them. It'd be
Yeah.
like turtles, similarly
Yeah.
like turtles. But yeah, and yeah, I have a bunch of jokes in one of my unpublished novels about this, which is set in Florida, about the
Mm.
whole alligator thing because I love them. And one day I will see them in the wild. Yes.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, let's move on to the next question. This is Ryan's favorite question, his most judgmental question, but he's not here. So it's my turn to get judgy. So, you're probably familiar with this monument, Mount Rushmore.
Who's that? Donald Trump is not on any of those
He's
heads.
he's over here. He's this one. The
Yes.
the,
Okay.
the triangle shaped head on the end.
Okay, so you sent this to me. This is my Mount Rushmore of TV shows.
Yes. Your
Okay,
top four.
my top four. True Detective season one, no other
Mm.
seasons. No other seasons. The rest of the show sucks. Just ignore it. Um, Followed immediately by Netflix's Bloodlines,
Mm.
starring Coach Taylor as the corrupt county sheriff character, which is so terrific. It's so tense. Plus, it's set in Florida, which I love, and in the Florida Keys, which I doubly love. That's double Florida. And such a great show. I'm in love with it. I've been in love with it. I showed it to my wife. She fell in love with it. It's so good. Then there's a show with Kevin Bacon, and it was on Fox, and it's called The Following.
Mm.
And it's about Kevin Bacon versus a cult of serial killers, headed by this guy named Joe Carroll, who is a failed author slash Edgar Allan Poe scholar.
Mm.
And the best part about this show is that Kevin Bacon, as the cop who fights the serial killers, ends up himself becoming a serial killer of serial killers because in every episode he kills like 19 serial killers. So me and my friend Alex Marriott, who's been on the Dad Lib Pod, wanted to do a the following podcast where we did every episode, and
Mm.
it was we were gonna have a count, an ongoing count of how many people that Kevin Bacon's character killed in that episode. I think in the first episode it was like nine.
Wow.
And then finally, because this show does not get enough cred for a very bright and shining moment, there's a show called Andy Barker PI.
Mm.
And Andy Barker was the co-host of Conan's Late Show or Late Night with Conan O'Brien. Anyway, Andy Barker PI is where he is an accountant who moves into the office of a private investigator. And what ends up happening is that all the private investigative clients keep coming to his office. And so he ends up being this sort of mild-mannered guy who has to solve these crimes. And the second episode is about him solving the murder of one of his accounting clients, who's this guy named Guy Halverson. And if you've never seen it, go and watch it. It's absolutely hilarious. It's just the most pristine straight man humor of
Mm.
like Andy living in this world that's crazy where this Guy Halverson, who's like this kind of smelly, fat, disgusting guy,
Mm.
is treated as a sex god by all these beautiful women, including Andy Barker's wife in the show. Andy's wife in the show. It's so funny. It's the funniest 20 minutes of TV I've ever seen. So yes, that's my Mount Rushmore of television.
It seems like you're quite a fan of the procedural genre. Like
Well,
police
it's
procedural mystery.
I like mysteries. I mean, I debated whether Friday Night Lights should be
Mm,
on there because obviously, Texas Forever and whatnot. But I just love a good mystery show,
yeah.
and I love it when it's either hyper anxiety causing, where the main character is sort of just subjected to this spiraling misery. And
Mm.
this, if my books ever get published, you'll notice this. This is how I write my books, where the main character is just subjected to this bombardment of misery of the people around him, where he has to solve their stupid problems. And I love that. I think that's such a terrific narrative
Mm.
idea for a television show. I mean, it's Ozark, right?
Yeah.
One of the great thrillers of all time is Ozark, which is just like what's his name? I forget it. I always refer to him as Michael because it's his name in Arrested Development. Uh but like everyone around him's doing something stupid all the time,
Mm.
and he has to figure out a way out of it in every episode. And I think that's so funny. That's such a funny thing. It's such a funny dad concept too.
Mm.
Like I always envision him as like the ultimate dad lit character where he has to contend with that, and that delights me. I'm trying to think of like great. I mean, there are a lot of great dad shows. Obviously, Breaking Bad is a great
Mm.
dad show. I mean, that's fundamentally a show about a dad who like philosophically does a thing for his family, but in
Yeah.
reality, it's
Yeah.
about himself.
Yeah.
Uh, the other great dad shows, Ozark, obviously. Bloodlines, of course, is a
Hmm.
great dad show. Um, this like the dad thriller where he's like presented with this extreme sort of scenario that has like an element of self-destruction is always really fun. The alternative, of course, is the a friend of mine was commenting on what's the show that Ben Stiller's making with
Oh
that's really hot about the uh convergence or no where they divergence where they split their time and their one
oh,
personality when they work.
subservience,
It's,
something like that.
yeah, it's
Subservience.
something like that. And my friend called it a good husband show. It's a show about a good husband. And I thought that that was such a funny kind of commentary on that idea, and such a funny observation of like the good husband versus the bad husband,
Mm.
and how the dad has like become this sort of character that's the good dad or the bad dad. And I think what's the one with Billy Bob Thornton, the oil man one?
Oh, God.
Uh, it's that Taylor Sheridan just did. That one's
Yeah.
like he's like a good dad, you know what I mean? But he's like doing his job, and then everyone presents him with a problem and he has to solve his way out of it. Landman. It's Landman. That's what
Yes.
it's called. Yes. Yeah, like I like that too from a dadlit perspective.
Yeah.
Um
Okay, so it's Severance is the show we were talking about.
Severance. Yes, Severance. The Good
Subs
Husband show
yeah. Subservience is a movie where with Megan
with
Fox.
Megan Fox. Yes.
That's probably the best role she's ever done. Like it's
You think so?
it's pretty well, I don't like her. Like I've met her and I don't like her, you know?
You met her?
Yeah. Um oh, when was
By the
it?
way,
12
my
years ago?
as always happens with Dadlit pods.
Hello.
Say hello.
It's a ghost head.
It's a ghost head. She always disappears. Yeah, you can't hear him because he's on the thing. Okay, go upstairs with mommy. Daddy will be up in a little bit. Oh my goodness.
Get me new on because I'm on my
Okay.
yeah.
Well, you just told the entire world.
I didn't pick up all of that.
Okay,
It's really dangerous. I think she might be hurt.
I think she's fine. Why don't you go find grandma? Oh, I know. Sorry, Jamie.
Yeah, right.
Gretchen has noticed her mother has left the house.
Oh,
And as you know, when you were 5 years old, when your mother leaves the house, this can be a very traumatic experience
mm.
because adults never return when they leave.
So
They're
you're
always
saying
going out for
children
cigarettes.
children are like dogs. They just panic. Oh, you're back. I forgot you left completely.
Yes. You want to come sit on daddy's lap while we do this? Okay. Oh, okay. Jamie, you don't mind, do you?
I don't mind at all.
Okay.
I don't mind at all. Well, let's move on to the next question because the next question is Dr. Emmett Brown leaves his DeLorean parked in your driveway. Where
Yes.
slash when do you go?
Okay, so initially, what I wanted to do was I wanted to go back in time to that 1980s stock market crash and then make a bunch of money off of it and then buy all the remaining Quaaludes and then sell them to rich guys with my money. Uh and become friends with rich 1980s Wall Street guys. But then I thought about it. And I decided that actually what I wanted to do was I wanted to go back in time and prevent Phil Collins from being born. And I had a plan. I actually came up with a plan. I was going to go to his parents' home and play Sussudio for them. And I was going to say, do you want to be responsible for this? Take 6 months off and prevent Phil Collins from ever being born. I think that's reasonable.
Yeah, that's a nice way of doing it.
Yeah.
As most people get violent, you know? It's just like
Yeah. I thought Sussudio would do it. You just open it up with Sussudio, and then it would instantly be like, oh yeah, no one wants to be responsible for that.
it's I can almost see that Back to the Future playing out like it's like this is an oldie, but oldie where I come from. But your kids are gonna love it. But with you, it'd be like this is an oldie where I come from, but your kids are gonna hate it.
And I hate it. Yes.
Yeah.
What do you think would happen to the world if Phil Collins was never born? Well, obviously we wouldn't have Lily Collins, who's
Mm.
gorgeous and beautiful, but yeah, she could use a sandwich.
Uh, I don't know
What would
enough about.
what would that legendary Miami Vice car scene be like where they play In the Air Tonight? What
Yeah,
would they play instead? I'm guessing it would be something even better.
I'm
How
asking the
old
internet.
is yes? Are you asking ChatGPT
Yep.
what the world would be like if Phil Collins was never born?
All right, here we go. Thinking about your request. Oh, it's going through. It's probably going to go like all these songs never would have. The world without Phil Collins would be pretty similar, but but with some noticeable gaffes in soundtracks of the 1980s.
This is exactly what I said. Yeah, Miami Vice
Oh,
wouldn't have In the Air Tonight. They'd
but
have
then
to.
Disney's Tarzan would be missing songs from the soundtrack.
Yeah, okay, good.
You prefer the Brendan Fraser one anyway.
Yeah, obviously. George of the Jungle.
Yep. Oh, he's done some charity work, so
Oh,
um,
yeah, but charity work versus the amount of the
some
amount
some
of hatred.
someone else can do
Yeah, some of
it.
that's
There you go. All right, shall we move on to the next one? Which is
yes.
which
I
has got
think
a
that's it.
yeah. The
Oh, the hot air
the
balloon
hot
one.
air, yes. This the one that we inherited from another show that ceased to be called Mirthquake that is
Yes.
no longer with us. So we're taking the question. The question is hot air balloon or janky sub? Would you rather fly in a homemade hot air balloon way up in the sky or a homemade submarine way down in the ocean's depths?
I'll be honest. I'll be honest. Homemade hot air balloon to me is infinitely safer.
Yeah.
From the from the perspective of sort of the
He done with your
oh my goodness, we are doing the podcast with Jamie. Ugh. And that would be rude. Would you like me to take the headset off so that you can chat too?
phone. It's just that I really, I, I, I really am worried about mommy.
Okay. Jamie, can we pause the
Yeah.
recording? I feel
Yep.
bad. I'll be right back.
All right.
Yes, I will apologize. My daughter decided to visit us. And she was concerned because my wife apparently left the house. We're I assume went out for smokes and is not coming back. Fortunately, Grandma was here.
It's all right.
So yes,
Yeah, so
we were
hot air balloon.
discussing hot air balloon versus janky sub.
Mm.
And I thought about this. And first of all, I could make a homemade hot air balloon. We had that whole thing where that family put that kid in the balloon and sent them up into the sky. Uh, Also, I'm kind of tall. I'm about
Yeah,
6'2". The prospect of getting into a submarine
yeah.
really unnerves me at
Mm.
6'2",
Yeah,
because even a big submarine is going to be small for me.
yeah.
Yes.
Unless
And
unless it's like a military one.
yeah, like if it's a military one, but if it's a homemade one,
Yeah,
something tells me the homemade sub guys
yeah.
are not putting in the 6'2", unless that it was that guy that chopped that woman's head off in his submarine.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
No.
There was a Dutch guy who created his own submarine and then invited a journalist on his submarine and then decapitated her. And the Dutch police prosecuted him because obviously there were only two people on the submarine.
Yeah.
And also, he had looked up how to decapitate a person
The web
on the
search.
internet. So, in terms of police procedurals, that's an open and shut case, man.
Well, that
I
was like
mean,
something that happened here, like in the river that's near me.
yeah,
20, 30 years ago, or maybe in primary school. They found a body in a garbage bin just floating down the river. Like and it was drilled shut. And the guy
they
that
drilled it shut.
like that, yeah, they drilled the lid shut, whatever.
Yeah.
And but the guy used his own bin. So there's like a street number.
Okay. Now that we're getting into these important things, there, True Detective season 3, you should watch
Hmm.
purely because there's the scene in True Detective season 3 where one of the detectives comes home and he's in his backyard and he's in nothing but his underwear and he's burning his clothes in
Mm.
a trash bin because obviously he's done something and his wife comes out of the house. And I just thought the greatest the greatest April Fool's Day prank would be for me to burn my clothes in the backyard. And when my wife comes out to ask me what was going on, to just say, nothing. Don't worry about it. Like, bro, if you're burning your clothes in your backyard, your marriage is over unless you tell her why you're doing
Yeah.
that. She's never going to wake up and say, you know what? That time my husband was burning all of his clothes in the backyard. I'm reflecting on that. I'm sure that was not a big deal. You know, he just didn't like those clothes. You know what I mean? Like, that's 100%.
Yeah.
No marriage recovers from burning your clothes in the backyard.
Yeah. You heard
Yeah.
it here, folks.
Yes. From the Dad Lit Pod directly.
Awesome. All right, icebreakers are done. We got to the end. Um,
I
this
know, and
is
it's
this is
already,
this is where we
yes.
usually ask people
What do
their
we do?
author origin story. Like, I mean, like obviously you love literature and books and stuff.
I do. I do. Yeah. Well, my author origin story is that I'm a professional historian. So, in fact, for a good part of my life, up until COVID, the vast majority of stuff I read was history. And I was one of those dad guys, but I did it professionally. It was part of my job, who was reading, upwards of, 300 books a year.
Mm,
Uh, Although they were history books.
yeah.
And I was writing history books, and I have written history books. And then I got to COVID, and we were all locked down. And my best friend, Alex Marriott, who is also an author, who has Murder with a Glass of Malvasia and School of Homer, he said, why don't we take this opportunity where we can't go anywhere and we're stuck in our homes, and we always talk about how we would be better writers on Saturday Night Live than the Saturday Night Live writers, who are nerds. And but we're nerds, like, we're
Yeah.
history nerds. And why don't we write detective novels? And every time in my life I'd sat down to write fiction, it felt abnormal,
Mm,
right? It really feels abnormal to write fiction unless you do it all the time.
yeah.
And unless you are comfortable with the concept and you sort of understand the concept. And so it was hard. It was really hard. Um, and Alex produced his book way before me. And I had all of these great ideas, and I would get like one chapter into it, and I would be like, shit, like, it felt unnatural. It just felt unnatural to me because I was so focused mentally on writing truth and on recording truth and on retelling truth, because that was my job, and it still is my job. And then I got laid off like
Mm,
2 years into COVID. And so I sat down and I was just like, well, fuck it. I got nothing to do. Um, I was a father at that time, of a 2-year old. And I was like, okay, I'm going to finish one of these ideas. I'm going to do it. And I wrote it, and that's my first manuscript, Water Hazard, which Alex still thinks is my best, because I didn't know what not to do,
yeah.
right? Because no one had told me, oh, you can't do this and get published. I wrote this idea of, like, if you took the angry police chief character from every movie and then you accused him of murder after he'd retired and moved to Florida, how would he handle it?
Mm,
And that's what Water Hazard's about. And I had so much fun. I had
mm,
so much fun. And it's such a funny manuscript. And Alex is still mad at me because it's not out there.
mm.
Um, and it's based on a character from one of his novels. The character's name is Dick Bourneman, and it's based on a character from one of his novels who he based on me as a person. He was like Dick Bourneman, and I was like, and we workshop these novels together. We workshop all of our novels together, because we're best friends. It's become a little more difficult because he's a dad now, and I'm a dad, and he's a history professor down in Texas. And so this, like, for him, it was so much fun to see this ancillary character that he'd created from his original book, School of Homer, which is a detective story based in Ithaca, Greece, to have that character exist
Mm,
like on their own. And to me, it was really fun because I embraced my favorite authors of fiction, the authors who I really loved, like Raymond Chandler. I think Raymond Chandler is like one of the funniest authors that has ever lived. And the best thing about him was when he would take this character who just hates everyone, but he would have the most hilarious commentaries and things that he would say to people. And if you've never read it, The Blonde Speech from The Long Goodbye is one of the funniest works of social commentary where he talks about all the different types of blondes in the world. And he wrote this in like the late 1930s when women were intentionally giving themselves blonde hair to
mm.
be in the movies in LA. And it hasn't changed. It's the same, still the same. And it's so terrific. And I just wanted to capture that. That was before I sort of understood that as an author, you need to have your own existence and you
Mm,
need to have your own style and you need to have sort of your own sort of thing. But I had so much fun writing that. And after that, I just kept going.
yeah.
And it's been a weird trip because I've been doing it now for 6 years, and I've just finished my fifth manuscript, like yesterday,
Wow.
which is a horror manuscript called That Last Little Push. And I still, I'm still like chasing this sort of idea of what I really want to do is I want to take the things that I write as far as they can go while maintaining true to myself.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, totally.
So I think you and I both know that if you sit down and you write a clone of certain genres, you know what I mean? Like I call them books that would make my mom cry. Like if I just found a book that made my mom cry and I wrote a clone of that,
Yeah.
I could sell that. You know what I mean? Like I know that I have a comprehensive understanding of the English language at this point and the discipline to sit down and do it. But I would be miserable. I'd be like,
Yeah.
oh, Jesus, this is the point where I make my mom cry because she's not
Yeah.
with him and he's with her, and the mother has cancer
Mm,
and all this other stuff. You know what I mean? So to that extent, like the goal is to try and sell a book and to sell it big, um, so that I can pay for all the other
yeah.
manuscripts that I haven't
Yeah.
sold, so that I can publish them independently for
Yeah.
free.
Yeah.
and write them off on my taxes,
Yeah.
you know.
That's how you want to do it.
Yeah, but
Um,
the other thing, and I'll say this, and everyone's gonna be like, Dan, he talks over Jamie and Jamie and every. No, as a dad, the experience, obviously, my daughter has fallen in love with podcasting, given her appearance earlier on this podcast, but uh, she also sees writing and reading as cool, right?
it's nice.
Like she wants to come, she wants to type out a sentence, she wants to help me
Mm.
write stories. She writes her own stories. I've got a zillion notes on my desk. They're just behind my computer of her phonetically spelling. And she's 5 years old and she's going
Mm.
into kindergarten. And she associates writing with daddy and with energy and with coolness and with reading, and like that's an aspirational thing for her, and she likes writing stories and she likes hearing stories. And one of the things that like I talk about on the Dadlit pod, and I think you would agree with me and many of your guests would agree with me from like the indie perspective, is that when you sit down to write a book and work on a book, you, if you have kids, you're not only demonstrating a sort of grit and intensity and discipline, but also you're demonstrating to them that you value reading
Yeah.
and that you value writing. And that's so essential. And it's had just like positives in my house. My wife reads now constantly. My wife's constantly reading. I'm constantly reading. My daughter is a 5-year-old, writing, reading, wanting us to read her books. And the underlying idea is that like grown-ups read, and this is a thing that I should aspire to. It's a skill that I don't have that I want because it's cool.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Because it's meaningful, because my parents find meaning from it. And so this is what I call the culture of reading
Yeah.
experiment that I'm doing in my own house, which is like, yeah, like daddy's daddy's trying to be an author, mommy's reading her books, mommy's reading daddy's books, daddy and mommy are talking about books. We're all getting, books for each other. We're all encouraging each other to read. And it's so essential. And it has been like night and day in my house.
Mm.
It's very different, I find, here versus uh, other houses where like everyone's like, oh, I'm so bored,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, that's like here because I get it doesn't happen as much as it used to, but like the wind would blow and we'd have a blackout, you know.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, I'm bored. What am I gonna do? Pick up a book. It's just like,
Yeah. Oh, it's never like at this point, I can't imagine my life not writing.
yeah,
Like 5 years ago, I'd never sat down to write a fiction book.
yeah,
I'd now it's like this is just a thing that I do.
yeah,
I've made friends. I've made friends with you. I've made friends all over the world.
yeah,
And maybe some of them are sort of weird parasocial Twitter
yeah,
relationships. But at the same time, it's like I feel like I'm in a club that shares
yeah,
a common interest, and uh, that understands a thing and is dedicated to it, and that's very meaningful.
yeah,
And that's the fun of the Dadlit pod, and the fun of your show as well.
yeah, 100%. Look, I don't
Mhm.
want to keep you too long, so let's talk a little bit more about the Dad Lit Pod. What is the origins of the Dad Lit Pod? And then we're going to play a little bit of a game.
Oh, great. The origins of the Dad Lit Pod are that my original novel, Water Hazard. So I have some friends and they do this sort of what they called like a friendship salon
Hmm.
where you could come in and present on whatever you want. And everyone else would sit down and they'd have dinner and drinks. And one guy did Warhammer 40K. One guy did, oh, what did he do? He was talking about like typesetting and fonts. And then another of my friends was talking about uh, his job as like a surgeon. And I said, this is my book. So I sent it to everybody. And my friend's wife, Nicole, who's never one to withhold her feelings, said to me, she goes, I read a lot of books. She reads a lot of memoirs. And she said, she said, I liked this. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really funny, but I would never pick it up in a bookstore. And then she said, it's like something my dad would read if he read books. And that's when I realized that I had become a dad lit author and that my audience doesn't read. But if they ever read my stuff, they would like it and they would enjoy it and they would think it's funny. And then from there, um, I started on Twitter with like all of our crazy Twitter friends, like Craig Turleson and Norin and all those guys. And I was just like, they were like, well, what genre do you write? And I'm like, I write dad lit. And then they're like, dad lit. And you instantly sort of realize what dad lit is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's nebulous, but there's a sort of nucleus of like conservative, kind of military, probably historical or thriller, uh, uh, and with an element of heroic dog.
Yeah.
And that is sort of the nucleus of Dadlit. And then from there, it kind of spreads out like a spider web and grabs books that may not have intended to be Dadlit,
Mm.
but ultimately are essentially Dadlit.
Yeah.
I mean, any book with a heroic dog
Yeah.
is a Dadlit book.
Or any animal companion for that matter, you know?
Any animal companion
Yeah.
is except women and horses.
We're-
Women and horses is the one exception to the Dadlit animal companion. Men with horses
Yeah.
automatically Dadlit.
Yeah. Oh, you want to know
Uh,
something that's super dad lit? Oh, it's not like dad lit, it's dad movie. I don't know if you know this movie called Primitive War came out
oh yeah,
earlier this
yeah,
year.
hundred percent.
Do you know what they're working on now?
Yeah, it's like a
Yeah,
western
Dinosaurs of the
with
Wild West.
dinosaurs.
Yeah. I'm just like
Dinosaurs of the Wild West. Yes.
that
Yeah,
is
that's 100% Dadlit.
yeah.
I mean, if Kevin Costner's in it,
Yeah.
or Kevin Costner could be in it, if they'd be willing to pay him, it's Dadlit. Like, you know what I mean?
Well,
Anything with Kevin Costner. Field of Dreams. Field
yeah.
of Dreams is the most Dadlit movie on the face of the earth.
You know, is he still doing baseball movies? Because he did a lot of them. I think it was him
I
and
don't
Den
think
him
no,
and
no. I tell you about this that I almost ran into him.
really?
He's down in Key West right now. There's a sunken treasure Spanish galleon
Oh, cool.
called the Atosha. And if you buy shares in the Atosha Recovery, they let you dive on the ship.
Oh, wow.
And Kevin Costner owns a bunch of shares. And you
Nice.
just pay it yearly. It's like
Yeah.
it's like 8 grand.
Yeah.
And all he does is hang out in Key West and dive on the Atosha all
Oh, that's
day.
cool.
doing undersea treasure diving. And I walked into their store because I was down there in January with my wife, and I was like, yeah, so heard Kevin's down here after he lost all that money on his movie. And then they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then I'm like, yeah, but you're out there dancing with wolves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's like, he's like, our members, we don't comment. And I'm like, yeah, but you know,
Yeah.
Coster's a cool guy. If you
Yeah.
build it, he'll come.
Yeah.
And he finally admitted, yes, Kevin Costner is just diving the Etosha.
Yeah.
Because why not? He just blew all his money on that great Western. That was pretty decent.
Yeah. Which one was that again? What was it?
Horizon.
Right. Oh, that's right. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yes, with a Comanche.
Yeah.
Yes. He had the Comanche just murder a bunch of people on the side of a river. It was
As you do.
great. As you do.
Yeah.
You don't see that in movies these days. Yes.
No.
So yeah, so what's this game? Tell me this game that we're
This
playing.
game is quite popular. I'll bring up the graph so you know what's going on.
Okay, bring up the graph.
What sort of it's a picture. I don't remember how the share button works. Oh, there you go.
Okay.
So the game is called Story Pitch. We have a setting, a
Nice.
genre, a main character, and a crazy addition. Basically,
Yes.
you're going to give us a number between 1 and 12 for each of these categories. I'll tell you what they are, and then you got to pitch us a story. Now,
Awesome.
there's two rounds. So one's the practice round, one's the for digital money or fake money or you know, uh, it's the real one. But we had so many people add stuff to our collection of possibilities that we have four separate graphs. So number one graph is the easiest probably,
Yeah.
and then it gets more subgenre and weird the further
Okay.
down the graphs you go. So first you got to pick a graph between 1 and 4, and then give us four numbers for those graphs.
Okay. I'm going to pick graph number 1.
Play it safe. Yep.
Yep, play it safe.
All
I'm
right.
going to I'm going to pick um 3,
Yep.
10,
Mm-hmm.
8, and 5.
3, 10, 8, and 5. All right. Let's see what we got here. All right. So
This is so wild.
your setting is the zoo.
Yes.
Oh, this is going to be weird. Your genre is noble bright fantasy.
Yes.
Okay.
I love it. I love it.
And your main character is a paranormal investigator,
Yes. Obviously.
and your crazy addition is Bigfoot,
Okay.
or
First of all,
every iteration and any version that you
so
want of
so
Bigfoot.
so I
Yeah.
could do Yeti.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
There's a bit of
Okay.
leeway.
First of all, you made this so easy for me.
Well, you did choose the
Uh
easiest graph. I'm just saying.
yes. Okay. We have a paranormal investigator. He is a noble paranormal investigator, a
Oh.
man committed to truth, justice, and the Australian way.
Mm.
Then he discovers an evil zoo, not run by noble Australians like the crocodile hunter, has opened in, let's say, Perth.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume Perth,
Near the Emu War.
near the Emu War. Well, this paranormal investigator is drawn in by ghosts of animals harmed
Mm.
in the zoo who are, I guess, stealing babies because they're dingoes. But they're stealing babies and they're bringing them to the zoo because they want to replace their babies who they lost to the evil
Mm.
zoo. Well, as it turns out, this evil zoo has been making expeditions into the Himalayas where they have captured a Yeti. They're planning to bring it back to the evil zoo, but Yetis happen to have some sort of mystical connection between human and beast, being beast humans. And so the dingoes that have been stealing babies are trying to bring attention to the likely tragedy of the Yeti being in the middle of Perth, where it's very hot. And our main character has to solve the dingo stealing babies while also averting the disaster of the noble Yeti being dried out by the Australian heat.
With air conditioning.
With air conditioning. Well, obviously it doesn't have air conditioning because
No.
the Strait of Hormuz is closed.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Oh, well done. See, that was easy.
What's a hard one? What's a
Well,
hard one?
do you want to
look
go
like?
straight to graph 4?
Yeah, let's go to graph 4.
All right. You can give us the same numbers because it's a different graph, or you can give us new numbers. It's up to you.
No, same numbers. Same numbers
numbers?
because it's harder to come up with the numbers than it is to come up with the story.
All right. Okay, let's see what he got. Your setting is a hot air balloon.
No! Did I have to make it?
Well, let's find out what your main character is. But okay, your genre is found footage. Um, your main character is a sock puppet marriage counselor.
Yes.
And your crazy edition is Chad Kruger.
Who's Chad Kruger?
He's the singer of Nickelback.
Oh no.
Hey,
Oh,
you asked for
no.
it. You asked for it.
Okay.
So it's a found footage set in a hot air balloon. Your main character is a sock puppet marriage counselor, and it's got to have the singer of Nickelback.
Awesome. Chad Kruger, struggling with his marriage, decides, particularly with issues of intimacy, because his wife thinks his music sucks. spirals into sort of personal stupor where he can only communicate to her through a sock puppet. The financial losses of his inability to make music that anyone who has any taste would want to listen to forces him to make a back alley documentary of sorts, kind of student film, Terror, where he insists that his wife must do a series of trust, endeavors to save their relationship. At which point they go up into a hot air balloon so that she can prove that she trusts him, the sock puppet marriage counselor on his left hand, and the camera that is set up on their GoPros on each of their heads. They then, because Chad Kruger also sucks at hot air ballooning, both go careening to the ground where the hot air balloon explodes like the Hindenburg. And only the sock puppet remains where it is haunted and is sent to this weird zoo in Perth where it becomes part of the paranormal investigation issue. How's that?
That's amazing.
I could do this all day. This is what my daughter makes me do every night. I want a mermaid a hermit crab, a beach, and a B-29.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
I can make that happen. Also,
we
I want them all going to a birthday.
well, we do a. I think at this point it's once a month. We do a multi-author where a whole lot of authors come together and do work on ones together, and they've been a hoot. So maybe I might have to do like a get a whole lot of the podcasters together
Oh yeah, we'll get
to do one.
Saffron.
Yep.
Saffron's a wild child over at
Saffron,
Idiosyncrasy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Bearded Book Beast, Chris from Bearded Book Beast.
I've never met Chris from Bearded Book Beast.
He's
I've been wanting to reach out to him. I haven't reached out to him yet.
well, maybe I can make it happen.
Love to get him on. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, we should do a podcaster, sort of unified. Like our
Yes.
powers combined. We are
Yes.
captain, don't save the planet.
That's it. Let's make it happen. The other thing that may just quickly back on your pitch with Chad Kroger. There's a joke here in Australia that we have
Yes.
we have an ice cream
Is he
mascot.
Australian?
No. But like we have an
Oh,
ice.
he just sucks in
There,
every culture.
yes, there is a try to find an image for you. There is a company over here called Paddle Pop that make ice cream, and their
Yes.
mascot is a lion. It's called the Paddle Pop Lion, and everyone says he looks exactly like Chad Kroger. I'm gonna try and
Poor
find it now.
lion. Poor lion.
Oh, look at that.
For those of you who don't know, Jamie and I are old enough to remember when Coldplay also sucked.
Yeah. Do you remember when they forced everyone to get songs on
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I don't even know if they do anymore.
Do you remember when we used to have like teenage jobs and we'd have to listen to Yellow because
Oh,
that was like a non-confrontational shitty contemporary song that was in
yeah,
every grocery store and mall,
yeah, yeah.
and they played it over and over again.
And they no, they were supposed to play it at my sister's wedding, but they forgot the CD or something. I was like,
God bless. Oh, that's the
thank
best news I've ever
this
heard.
this wedding is blessed. Anyway, the Paddle Pop Lion, I give you. That was the
Well,
running joke.
yeah, if his mouth is open like that.
Um,
Yeah, if his mouth is going to be open like that, that's what it's going to look like.
but it's just funny. Anyway,
Yes.
Dan, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you, Jamie. Thank you for having me. This is so much fun, and I know it's a real stretch for you because you're in Australia and I'm over here, and I think it's tomorrow there.
It is. It is Saturday
Yes.
morning. Well, what kind of works for us? Because we'd be doing so many more episodes if one, I didn't have to work. Two, the time zones were different. But it's easy. It's a Saturday for me. I'm not working.
Yeah.
It's a Friday night. Your week is done, and it's usually the best way we usually typically do it. Um,
Mhm.
um,
Well, that's awesome. I mean, I would love to come back. This is so much fun.
well,
Um,
I'll put it
you
here
know,
and I'll say it here. I'm definitely going to organize a Podcasters Unite or Booktubers Unite story pitch
yes.
episode. I want to do it. I got a few people in mind, so I'll try and figure out some times that work, and we'll discuss it
Oh yeah.
off air. But for now, just let our listeners and viewers know where they can stay up to date with what you're doing, how they can follow and support the
Okay,
Dadlit
okay.
Pod.
You can find me on Twitter, which is where I hang out with all of the slime of humanity at the Dadlit Pod. The Dadlit Pod is also on Spotify. It's on Apple iTunes, and it's on YouTube, where I like to listen to it. I listen to it on YouTube
Mhm.
if I ever listen to my own voice, which I don't do because it weirds me out. But you can also find books by Dan Roberts on Amazon, The American, The Lifetimes and War of Basil Antonelli. And then Jamie obviously has his special edition hardcover of the Emu War,
Yay!
which I pronounce on occasion, and that is a preface by me. And you should buy that and support Jamie's show just generally. And hopefully, I'll have a book out one of these days when the contracting gets all signed, and then I can pitch that.
Excellent. And we'll be sure to get you back on when you have something to show the world. 100%. Yeah, guys, I will leave all the links down in the show notes. Please be sure to check that out. Until then, please remember to check out our sponsor, Rebecca Castles. Our honorary sponsors, Janelle Schiecke, Alexander Robb. All their links are down below. And yeah, keep supporting those indie authors and those dad-lit authors.
Yes.
And we'll catch you on the next episode.
Bye, everybody. Thank you, Jamie.